The extension of the national state of disaster for a further month is unnecessary, and that's the view of vaccinologist Professor Shabir Madhi. Madhi says that the country is over the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma announced earlier that the state of disaster is now set to expire on the 15th of February.
I'm unclear as to why we're needing to perpetuate the state of disaster, because we're in a very different phase of this pandemic. In fact, what I would refer to it as being in a convalescent phase of this pandemic. We're not out of the pandemic. We are going to get another resurgence, perhaps another 2 or 3 resurgences, but we're not going to observe the large number of hospitalizations and deaths that transpired in the past. And we need to recalibrate completely, and it's absolutely essential that we don't do any further harm, indirect harm, to the economy, to the livelihoods of people, the education of children, and society in general, by pretending that we're doing any good by having these types of restrictions when it's simply not needed in the current context.
We'll know by month end if COVID-19 vaccinations will be compulsory, and that's the word from Health Minister Joe Phaahla. Speaking to South Africa Tonight last night, he said that the task team is set up to deal with the issue and has already discussed it with several stakeholders, and proposals have been received. Now, the minister says as things stand, the vaccination rate still remains low.
I'm informed by our own DG that they do have firm proposals. In fact, I think by next week they will be ready to present to myself, and then so that we can then take it to the full Coronavirus Council and subsequently to this committee of Presidential Coordinating Council and finally to Cabinet. So those will be the steps. I'm quite optimistic that before the end of January, this matter will have been decided and the full consultation will have happened. And the president will be in a position to announce in terms of what decisions. As I said, we're not necessarily, naive that we can have everybody agreeing, but we just want to make sure that there is sufficient consultation.
Staying with matters COVID-19, let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers. Now, 5,244 new infections have been recorded in the last 24 hours. The Western Cape is leading with 1,389 new infections. It's closely followed by Gauteng with just over 1,000 cases. KwaZulu-Natal has recorded 984 infections. Limpopo and the Eastern Cape have recorded the lowest, just over 450 cases. The rest of the provinces are on just over 200 infections. The positivity rate stands at 13%, and sadly, in the last 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours rather, 59 people have succumbed to COVID-19 related complications, and that takes the death toll to over 93,000.